beautiful ones. Christina here. You're probably wondering, who? Where have you been? I think I come on, like, it must be like every 6 months. In another video, I'll explain to you why. In this video, I'm taking the opportunity right now, because one of the reasons which I'll share is because where I live right now, I have for a few months, I just cannot record. I can't do anything. It's a commercial area, even though it's a small neighborhood, it's just busy almost 24/7. And where I lived before, because I am a bit of a gypsy moving around, both of those places had construction the whole time I was there. So I basically could not do any of my videos. So I'm here at a friend's place that I help look after. Some of you might recognize because I used to live here before. It's at my friend Bonnie's condo. And I don't have good lighting, but it's okay. I'm going to do the video anyways because it's relatively quiet. What this video is today is something completely different. I've never done before. It's a review. Well, I've done a review of a paranormal review, which I want to do more of those. I really want to do more of those. But this one is different. It's a review of a movie, and I'll tell you why I'm reviewing the movie. Because it's a movie that first of all, it was not this is the first time it's a movie that I know of, unless it was made before that I'm not aware of. Anyways, a Hollywood production. It was a Broadway play, stage play, and if you haven't guessed, Cats. When it came out, I wanted to see this. I don't know how old I was, 18, 19, when it first came out. And of course, because I'm a cat lover, I have my 2 cats, Sunshine and Violet, and I've had cats most of my life. And so I love cats, and I thought, oh, this is kind of cool, this is funny. They're making up musicals. I've loved musicals. That's what I watched as a kid. And so I was like, about cats? What is it? And it really felt like it was for the younger generation, you know, even though it was adults. And I had no idea what it was about, and I didn't care. I wanted to see it. Well, it never happened. I never saw it, and I was like, I don't know why. I don't know why I've never been. There were opportunities, and then those opportunities just ended. So I guess that's the kid in me who's always like, one day I'm gonna see Cats. And just before Christmas, or no, for us it came a little later because I'm in Mexico. So some movies come a little later, some come earlier, but this one, I think it came just after Christmas. Yeah, and I just happened to thought, you know, I want to go to the movies because where I live now, it's a 10-minute walk. And sometimes I like to go, and the reason that I wanted to go that night was because there was a grand fiesta happening around me, and I thought, it's just too much noise. It's too much noise. There's cannons going off and fireworks and parades, and you're just like sitting in your apartment going, I don't have a TV. Can't hear my internet. I want to go to a movie. So I saw that there was Cats, and I was like, you're kidding me. Oh my God, I'm going to see this. Though, what happened was, at first, I said, I'm going to just check out the reviews about it. And normally I don't do that if it's a movie that I feel, you know, that I want to go and see. But I decided, no, you know, let's just let me see. You know, let me get an idea of, you know, I guess the movie's going to be a little bit different. The first review I watched, I don't even remember his name, sorry. I had watched a review of his once before. And so it popped up again, and I saw he was doing Cats. I was like, okay, great, let me see what he's got to say quickly. And it was like the shortest review video. I think it was like 6 minutes long, something like that. Basically, he just said, it's horrible. That there might be some people who will, you know, cult people or something like that will make it, you know, a cult following. And I was like, oh, and he gave it an F. I don't even know what he said. Nothing good at all. I thought, wow. I was like, that's kind of sad. I want to go out. So then I watched another review. So let me see another review. And again, I don't know who this gentleman is. He's pretty funny. And he basically had spoilers. I'm amazed. He knew the movie from beginning to end. He gave you details upon details upon details. I'm like, gosh, I mean, I have a good memory for a lot of things, but not that much. And so, because even when I just tell you what I thought about the movie, I'm not going to, because I never saw the play before, so I didn't know characters' names. I don't know the plots. I don't know anything about it. I just wanted to go because it was a musical, and I think the cat person and my inner child was just like, I want to go see this. So this gentleman, he was hilarious. I think he is a comedian. And he had me laughing at points so much that I couldn't stop laughing. You know, one of those belly laughs. And I thought, oh my gosh. I mean, just his review of it and his reenactment of it was like, I'm going to go see it. I don't care. I'm going to go see it. So I thank him for that. And yeah, I basically probably you could say I don't need to see it now because he told you everything that happens, like every single detail, right? And the other thing was that I didn't know if he liked it. He just kept talking about it and telling you everything, and I was like, do you like it or you not like it? And finally at the end, he's like, I love this movie. I would see it again. And I was like, wow, it's so polar opposite. So I thought, okay. Anyways, I made a decision. I'm going to go and see it. Though I did go watch a few more because after that, all on YouTube, all the suggested videos are coming up and you're like, review. And I could see people were not hiding it. They were basically putting it in their title, that why was this movie ever made? I mean, it was just horrible, and that's what it became out there. And I thought, oh, that's really bad. The little bits that I saw of the singing, I mean, how could you say it's horrible? Everybody in there anyways is a singer. So how bad can it be? But some of the things that people pointed out when I went to see it that they didn't like or thought was like, how could they even put this on the big screen? I didn't see any of that. And one of the things was the CGI, where people were, I remember the funny guy was saying like, oh, some parts it didn't match, and you would see like it was going behind it, or the way he described it, and I thought, really? They would put that out there? So I was expecting, but I totally forgot when I went in to watch the movie to look for these things, because none of them came into play. None of them. None of these things that he was talking about. And I was like, wow. And then of course I read later that they edited it. So I guess they kind of touched up the CGI and things like that. So for me, I loved the CGI. I thought it was cool. The way they made them look like a cat. Totally. I mean, it's humans. Like, what do you expect? They're not cats. It's not a animation. It's humans portraying cats. So I thought it was cool how they made the ears. I loved the tail. I love how they learned, because they all went to cat school, I heard, and they're learning the movements, how they did that. If you're a cat person and you live with cats, I mean, I thought they did a pretty good job. Pretty good job. I can't find any fault with anything like that. Could have been better, maybe. I'm not an expert on this. It's not what I was looking there for. I was looking for a fun time. I was looking about a musical, and it was cats singing, and who knows what the story was about. I had no idea what the story was going to be about. So, I mean, really, I guess you could say is a child movie. Well, not even child, a young person, a child into maybe even teenager. But you know what? If you're in tune with your inner child, as an adult, I would think that you would love it. Now, I went to the theater here, and there wasn't a lot of people, but again, I'm in Mexico, and I don't know 100%, but I'm sure that a lot of people here don't know what Cats is. They don't know what the Broadway play is. You know what? They probably never heard of it. So for them, they just saw this movie called Cats, right? And the trailer in Spanish would show, cats, people running around as cats and singing and dancing. So there was, even though there's probably only maybe 30 people in the theater, there was at least 10 children. there. I mean, small children. There was like 2-year-old up to like maybe 12-year-olds that were in there. So they probably thought, and I think I was the only, myself and maybe one other couple were the only other, expats that live here in the theater. So they probably had no idea. So there was no expectations, there was no comparison, nothing. And it was funny because you could hear, what I also wanted to do was pay attention, right? Because I remember someone saying that someone walked out of the theater, or a couple people walked out of the theater, and just people were like put off by it. So I was kind of wanted to hear to what, pay attention to a little bit to the audience, their reaction to it. And so there were kids that were laughing, adults who were laughing at certain parts, and I don't know, I cannot find fault. No, again, technical into CGI, whatever comparison between cats and humans, and who cares? I don't care. It was like entertaining. Everybody sounded amazing. It was funny. It was serious. Actually had tears towards the end. I literally had tears. So I enjoyed it. I totally would see it again. And I probably would see it again because there's a couple of reasons. This is where I'm going to divert a little bit into where I call a different kind of review. It's different, yes, because it's not. I'm the minority here. Actually, I just watched a review with Perez Hilton, and him and I are pretty similar. He's more detailed and technical because he knows this world more than I do. I don't, and so he can look at some things. But like he said, it was a fun movie, and his children loved it. They're just being true and honest, and that's all it was about. It's humans dressed up as cats. But so what I really want to say is that the movie, a lot of people talk about there's no plot. Well, to a certain degree you could say, okay, no, there's not, but there kind of really is. See, this is where I'm going to divert a little bit. Hollywood. Hollyweird, as some people call it, or a cult, or a secret society, or all the things that it is that goes on there, which they all do. I don't know everything, of course I don't. Nobody does, only people that are in that world. Though I have been in that world a little bit. I've done background work years ago, and I've gone with my friend with her children who did some background work in LA. I did it back in Canada, then we did some in LA. You hear things, you pick up on things. Yeah. So it's a world of its own. It's an illusory world, but it's also a very dark world. But yet, of course, there's wonderful things. It's a creative world, so there's a lot of levels to it. Though I don't want to get too deep about this, but I will tell you from my perspective and my consciousness and my intuitive sense is here, there's a lot of things in this movie that I'm not going to say the majority because there's a lot of people who are awake. But there's a lot that won't get it, and they won't see that. They're just critiquing everything that looks wrong about, how a movie should be made. But they're not seeing what's really, and Hollywood kind of counts on that too. People just being zombie-like or unaware. But it has its metaphysical places in it. It's esoteric places in it. And I would have to really go see it again and I'd have to really take notes where I could point out, which I didn't really do that. I just wanted to enjoy it this time, but I could pick up on things. I could feel things, because they also subliminally put things in movies. And that's a whole nother story that I'm not going to get into. But there is a story here, It's a cat story, right? And I don't know, basically it's the cats have, cats have 9 lives, and so they're an older cat, and they have this sort of this gathering. I can't remember now. See, is it once a year or whatever it is? This gathering to see who is going to actually really ascend and be reincarnated again and have a whole new life. That's the simple story, I guess, a simple plot. And so that involves, all the different characters and them showing why they should be chosen, right? Why they should be chosen and how they interact with each other. Not a lot of plots per se, but there are messages there. You can hear some of the things that are said. Reincarnation. We are greater than who we think we are. There's the positive implications, subliminal messages, and then there's the opposite, the light and the dark. The catnip scene, which anybody could see come into place because you give your cat catnip, and so that's what they're doing, and they're sprinkling it all over there, and so they're all wild and crazy and having fun and just being all over the place. But what is the underlying message? What is the metaphysical or esoteric purpose here? And that's about control. We sprinkle our stardust, the movie industry, so that we can have you under our control. It's there. If you tune into it and you understand there's much more, there's multi-levels. There's subliminal words. There's the one thing that I have to say that it was a little difficult for me that I didn't really like was that even though I liked the music, I really couldn't understand what they were singing. For so many of the songs, I couldn't understand what they were singing. And it's interesting because here in Mexico, I'm watching the movie in English, but there's Spanish subtitles. So sometimes, maybe that's why I didn't see everything, because I tend to go and look to see if I miss what they said. Maybe I'll catch it in Spanish, even though I don't speak Spanish fluently, but I might know the word or something like that. Plus, I also like to look, what are they saying in English and how they're translating in Spanish? And a lot of times it's, nope, that's not what they're saying. So it's kind of interesting. But I would do that also with some of the songs because they were, they had the words there. And it didn't really kind of make sense, a lot of them, so I still didn't know what the heck the song was about. And that's just me. Maybe I just have a little difficulty interpreting, with my hearing, grasping what's being said. But I'm pretty sure if I went and looked at some of the lyrics, there's going to be subliminal messages in there, deeper messages. So I don't have a lot of detail to go into it because I will see it again. I might not go to, well, it's still playing the theater here actually. So that kind of tells you, because usually they change it every few weeks, but it's actually still here. So I guess people are going to see it, especially, over the holidays, and Mexicans think it's, a children's movie. And it really is, it's for the inner child or the actual child, or the younger audience to just go and enjoy, and to enjoy, it's a musical with cats. Well, people as cats. And the kids know that. They know that the people are dressed up as cats, right? But they don't care. It's just fun. right? And I think they're more intrigued by the scenery. I mean, I have to say that the graphics and the design, and I was really trying to look at everything because there was wording over here, wording over there, and it took place in London, and I've actually lived in London, England. And funny enough, I'm going to be going there again soon, and I really have an affinity with England as well. And so the places that they were, you know, making it look like here, and there in London, I've been there, especially at the end when they're all sitting in, oh my God, forgive me, I'm gonna say, what is the name of that square where the lions are and on the buildings? I actually have a really cool picture there because on the other side, like where they're sitting and opposite that, there's this cool statue of two fingers coming together. It's kind of cool. So I know that. I've actually stood right there and I've got a picture of myself with the lions on my, kind of looking on my head. You know, anywhere I see cats, it's me, cat lady. So you know, I recognize, like, oh, so what are they calling this? You know, like the Jolly Rancher. I don't know if that's one of the names, but you know, the Jolly Cat, whatever. They had all these kind of names related to cats, and I thought it was just fun and it was cool. So I think that was really well done. But so, you know, I can see how some people will pick it apart in technically or whatever. And that's fine. If that's what they're there for, then, you know, okay, fine. They're not there to just enjoy the movie with no expectations. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know really what else to say about the movie except for I liked it and I'll go see it again. And when I do see it again next time, I'll actually try to maybe make some more notes for myself and see what else, other kind of subliminal messages esoterically that are in there, because don't get it twisted. These people in Hollywood, and I would not even call it weird because, you know, lots of things can be weird, but to the outside world it is, you know, it's an illusory world, and many know, many know life is much more than the physical realm. So, and you can see that in a lot of movies that are made out there. I might start reviewing movies to maybe even go a little bit more in depth. For me, from my point of view, my intuitive sense, what I pick up, because I not only, it's not my interpretation, a conscious interpretation, it's my feeling, because there's a lot of times when I can feel, because they do input in the music or whatever, in the sound somewhere, they do input frequencies to trigger your brain for whatever reason. There's a multitude of reasons. And so a lot of times, sometimes I can pick up on that and I will feel it. And so automatically I feel my body stopping it, or I start doing, I do sound healing. So sometimes I'll just start clearing the energies. You know, it's not easy, but it's spontaneous for me because my being is automatically doing that, because I'm already picking up that, you know, out here in the other fields before it even gets to my physical body. So sometimes, you know, if you're in a theater full of people, you're kind of like, okay, you gotta be kind of discreet. But, so yeah, now I don't watch scary movies, I don't watch horror movies, I don't watch any of that, because all those movies are programmed. Just purely programmed. There's just no way, two ways about that. So I don't watch any of that. I have no interest in that, being terrified, you know. Life in its whatever beauty has enough terrifying moments, or we create enough terrifying moments, and these exist within our being already. You don't need this, because that's what it's playing off of, you know. But people don't understand that. Life is metaphysical. It's multidimensional. There's so much more there. But we'll end on that and just say that, you know, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie Cats, and I'm one of the few, and that's okay. I don't care. But I bet you if we took a busload of children to the movie, I'm sure that they would enjoy it. So, you know, unless they're scared of cats, right? If you've got a trauma from cats, and believe me, there's people like that too, you know, then they're, you know, they won't want to go see the movie. But for me, I give it an A, and for enjoyment, for musicality, for the fun, you know. Is it perfect? Probably not. Could they have done some other different things? Yeah, sure. And I think the thing about it is everybody seemed like they were having fun. And I heard that they did the singing live, right? So it wasn't recorded. Wow, because that was one thing about it. To me, everybody sounded great. Some better than others because some are much more powerful singers. Jason Derulo, I know he's a good singer. I don't know all his music. I know who he is. I might know a few things here and there. But wow, he almost sounded like he was an opera singer. And he sang that live. He has an amazing voice. He's like, and of course Jennifer Hudson, you know, and Taylor Swift is good. I don't follow Taylor Swift either. I know some of her music. But you know, everybody, if it was live, everybody sounded amazing. Really. Oh, and there's one guy, I wish I knew, I'm sorry I don't know anybody's, I can't remember, there's McCavity. I think that's all right. Victoria, the main character. I'm sorry, I don't know, I just don't know the characters. I might learn them if I kept watching it over and over. But there was one character towards the, I don't know who he was, but he was a tap dancer. Phenomenal. Oh my gosh, amazing. I was like so intrigued, and I so enjoyed. I don't know who he is, I don't know, but it was amazing. So fun movie. I recommend it to anyone who is a musical, like a musical movie lover, cat lover, and a fun lover. That's it. Take your children and go check it out, because I think it's a good movie. All right, beautiful ones. I shall see you soon again. And I'm going to try to do some more videos, a few different things. I got lots of plans, a lot of ideas in my mind. I want to get back into my YouTube channel, and I'm going to really try hard to be able to do it. I apologize for the quality of this. It's not great. It's dark here. The lighting is not very good, but at least it's quiet, and I could actually do this without any interruptions. So I'll see you again soon. Sending you all much love and blessings. Take care.